Dave, what are we doing here?
Dude, not even back 24 hours and we're starting this crap again already?
Started with what?
Nothing.
Dave, do they know you have TBM brakes?
Now they do.
Oh, did they not? So
No,
this
I mentioned it somewhere.
Oh.
But we had trouble. Oh, I had trouble installing them.
So Dave's installing TBM brakes.
We gotta get this car light. It's too heavy.
It's too heavy. I can't wait to see. These brakes are so awesome. TBM, if you're watching, hit me up. Message me. Streetcar Joe on Instagram. I need TBMs for the front of this car. We need to get rid of those brakes. Yeah, now that Dave knows how to install them. He had to struggle. I mean, there's a lot of little parts like shims and spacers and brackets and stuff. It's a little bit of a puzzle.
No directions.
So, yeah, no directions. But yeah, we got it. Figured it out. So Dave's doing TBM brakes. It's going to be awesome. Have you even started this? Should I have started the vlog?
Yeah, you got to do the opening.
Okay, hold on. Well, you'll see this after. Well, I guess it won't matter to y'all. Never mind. We're good. Just ignore me. It was a long weekend. We didn't get much sleep.
Why don't you explain your side of the story?
Kennedy got a lot of sleep. What was my side of the story?
I don't know.
Oh, that David cannot drive when he's tired.
What? I may have hallucinated that a person crossed the street, but that's not. That's neither here.
It's funny because I was hallucinating that there was dogs in the street. We had a rough night. We didn't. So hold on, I'm not good. How far do you hold this out? Can they see me?
Yeah, if it's at 24.
20. I don't know if it's at. Hold on. How do I know if it's at 24? Okay.
Zoomed all the way up.
I'm hoping you can see me. This camera's heavy.
Told you.
So anyways, now I forget what I was saying. Oh no, it was like 2:30 in the morning before we hit the road from Denton on Saturday night. So the first night, Friday night, we raced till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. We got back to the hotel at like 4. David was editing. Like we didn't get to bed till late, but we slept in. I slept in till like 9 something. They slept in till 10 something. So then.
Whoa. Amazing breakfast you didn't even wake me up for.
So, let's just tell that story real quick. Dave's sleeping. I'm getting ready to go out of the hotel room to get breakfast. They have a nice breakfast. And Dave's phone goes off. And I see him like get up and grab his phone. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go down, check out the breakfast. The breakfast is legit. So I text Dave. Hey, Dave, you got 10 minutes to get down here and get breakfast. It's legit. Get down here.
Literally,
I tried. Like, word for word. He says he didn't hear his phone. Whatever. It's like, dude, I saw you 2 minutes ago checking your phone when it dinged, so don't lie to me. Whatever. Anyways, so we didn't get much sleep that night. Then we're out in the heat all day. We drive around Dallas all day long. We're out in the heat all day, working on the car and trying to figure stuff up. And then we race for 5-6 hours or something. And I lost in the semifinals at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So we load up and we hit the road a little after 2. And we drove back that night. It's like a 5-hour drive. We got back when the sun was coming up.
We didn't even eat dinner.
Sunday morning. Yeah, we didn't eat dinner. We just loaded up and headed out. It was a long night.
I was being a sore loser.
David was being a sore loser. I was being a sore loser. Like, it's tough losing, especially in the semifinals. I feel that we had enough car to beat that person. Like, not even, if I would have turned it up, if I would have done this, if we could just kept the front end down, left the tune-up in it, I would have beat that person pretty confidently by a gap. But it is what it is. Yeah, I tried wheelie gapping. That did not work out. Man, this camera is heavy. Like, I keep finding myself like wanting to lean on my car. I don't know, but I don't work out, so it's super heavy to me. But anyways, I don't even know what else. I need to do the intro.
Now you're gonna do that?
I guess it's too late now.
Too late. It's just rolling.
So here's Dave. Work on the TBMs. Joe is welding over there. Or I'm about to. I haven't started tonight.
You haven't shown the...
Have I not shown any of it?
No, we have.
Oh, okay.
You didn't... I don't think you... Yeah, you weren't that far.
So check it out. I've done some more welding. I have, what was that, 10 beads or so done, maybe 12. And those are all the way around. It's turning out pretty good. I should do like some B-roll. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. So you have to let me know if that turns out good. Uh-oh, phone call. Hold on.
Alright, so after much trial and error, we got the TBM brakes on. I'll show you guys on the other side how many shims you want to put on, but make sure you use red Loctite, obviously. But these things spin so nicely. It just hit the pad if you heard that. That was what that noise was. So we don't have a brake line for these because the connection on the back of these is actually a 3AN. So we're going to have to get some custom brake lines made. But if you want to know how to install these, what you're going to do is the bracket is going to sit like so. You've got these thicker bolts and then these skinnier ones. The skinnier ones actually go to the knuckle, obviously, because they're the only ones that thread in there. And actually what's weird is these TBMs sit on the front, which I think is kind of weird. Usually the caliper's on the back side for these cars, but these are going to be on the front. Obviously you want the feed brake line fluid on the bottom, and you want your valve on top so you can bleed them. Alright, so that's how the bracket sits. We've got the skinnier bolts here and one spacer back there. Make sure you put red Loctite on those, and you want to crank on these. Obviously you'll check them down the road once you put some miles on them, but that's how the bracket sits. Okay, and so for the caliper, you've got this thicker bolt here. So I'm going to go into the light. This thicker bolt, gonna have a locking washer on that, and then the flat washer that's provided, and then, so that'll be on this side of the caliper. Then from the caliper to the bracket, you're gonna have 2 of the thicker shims and then 1 of the thinner. So they comes with 0.031 shims, and then it comes with a pack of 0.01 shims, I believe. And so you have 2 of the thicker shims and then 1 of the thinner in between the bracket and the caliper. And what that's going to do is going to push out the caliper so that the caliper is centered over the actual rotor. Alright, so there are the front TBM brakes. We're going to wait and see if we need to add another shim once we get the brake lines hooked up, because then we can hit the brake pedal and fully depress the pads, and then they'll kind of sit where they're supposed to. So then at that point we'll know if the rotor is touching the pads at all. Here's the passenger side. Those frickin' rotors are awesome. Man, those are sick.
Ooh, the elusive Trackhawk that everyone wants me to race. Here's the thing, guys. I know a lot of people want to see the Trackhawk versus the Mustang. Now, the Trackhawk is very fast. It's very fast. Thing though, they feel like they get out of the hole very fast because it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. It throws you back in your seat. You feel like it accelerates fast. Trust me, I drove it. The thing feels crazy fast. Here's the thing. People that I saw were driving or running 960s in these Trackhawks were only 60-footing 150s, guys. 150s. In my Hellcat, I was going low 1.4s. Kevin's Hellcat, we got it to a 1.39 one time. So although these feel like they get out a lot quicker because they're heavy, they're all-wheel drive, it throws you back in your seat. Although it feels like it gets out a lot quicker, they're still very heavy. They're like 5,500 pounds. So the best 60 foots, I don't even think someone's cut a 1.4. So everyone that wants to see the Mustang race this, you're gonna be very surprised on what happens. But I did get some parts in today, so let's go look at the parts. What is you doing? You want the ball? You want the ball? Oh, just broke my ankle. Let go. Hey, let go, fool. Let go. Hey, let go. Aha. Now what, punk? Now what? Let's see how my obedience training with Cupcake is going. Sit. Ah, yes. Shake. Shake. Oh, okay, okay. Now you can have the ball. Cupcake in slow-mo in 3, 2, 1. Got some packages for the Mustang. Alright guys, so as you saw, we installed the TBM brakes. We may have to adjust them once we get the brake lines done, but I did find a little adapter that will adapt to the stock hardline, and then we can have a 3AN brake line coming off of that to the TBM calipers. So if you guys are wondering why I did those, the TBMs are a little bit lighter and they spin a little bit more efficiently with their new rotor design that they have. It's called like the revolutionary rotor design. I guess it's not new, but it is new for Mustangs. They just came out with this for the S550. So I still have the bare brakes in the back. I still recommend bare brakes, but I did decide to switch to some TBMs up front. And, you know, you always got to make the car lighter. So, got a few packages in from Power by the Hour. If you guys remember, we made the hard line that comes off of the radiator, and it's their billet aluminum little coupler that comes off the upper radiator hose. So that one, I accidentally pinched the rubber O-ring in there, and you actually can't buy that rubber O-ring. It's a Ford OEM part. You can buy it, but you have to buy the whole entire upper radiator hose, which I'm sure is like 150, 180 bucks. So luckily I called Power by the Hour. They have extras of these for this reason, so they're able to send me one of those. So if you guys ever run into that problem, just call Power by the Hour. They have those in stock typically. The next thing I got was from BMR Suspension. I'm gonna do some install videos on this stuff, but I wanted to show you guys because I know a lot of people have commented like, hey, you need the cradle lockout kit from BMR, from anybody. So I am working with BMR. I do have a discount code. It's VANV39 if you guys want to help me out, and if you want to help yourselves out by getting a discount and help your car out by going fast with some BMR products. So I did get the rear cradle lockout kit, and I wanted the hammer tone. They have a really cool hammer tone finish, but you have to do the red finish when they are sending you this product in sponsorship. So this is the BMR cradle lockout. It's got some metal bushings in there. So this is going to attach to the cradle and then attach to the frame, which should stop all of the wheel hop that Mustangs are known for. The biggest thing with IRS suspension is really trying to stop the wheel hop and get the cradle to stop moving around, so that way it can firmly plant the tires onto the ground, which should help you get better 60 foots, which will help you get better ETs. So that's the biggest thing with this car, is going to be getting it to hook. We do have the 15s. I've had the 15s on order. I ordered them, I just looked today, it was like August 2nd. So I've had them ordered for a while. It's pretty much been over a month. So I called today to check up on them, and they actually gave me a shipping date, but they're not shipping till the 24th of this month. So I won't have these until like the last week of September, if not the first week of October. I won't have the weld wheels. So I'm gonna have to find some wheels in the meantime to hold me over, because obviously the car is going to be done probably in the next week or two, and it should be driving around. And what I usually do is use Kevin's stock Hellcat wheels, but they are not here. Only his drag radials are. So I'm going to be looking for some inexpensive wheels, some 15s, maybe something like a Race Star, or even the SVE brand that I had before. See if I can get a 15 that'll fit my car, because I'm gonna order the 15-inch, the tires for the 15-inch wheels. So I don't want to be ordering a bunch of sets of tires. If I got an extra set of wheels, I got an extra set of wheels, is what it is. So if you guys know of any used sets or really inexpensive 15x9s for the Mustang 5x4.5, I think it's like a 6.5 inch backspacing, then I can make those work until we get the wheels at the end of September. Man, it sucks ordering weld wheels. If you've ever ordered weld wheels and they weren't in stock, it takes a while. And they're not usually in stock, by the way. It's one of those things that's just not in stock. It's made to order. Anyways, just wanted to give you guys an update. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the install on the TBM brakes. If you guys ever have any questions on installs for your Mustang, just shoot me a message on Instagram. See if I can help you out, because some of the things we have done, some people haven't done on these cars yet. Like, I only know of one other car that has TBM brakes, and it's Andy Howard on Instagram, but he actually doesn't have the revolutionary rotors like I have. He has the solid rotor. So I think that's the first Mustang with those rotors, but they do look like mountain bike rotors. If you guys have seen like a rotor of a really nice mountain bike, that's what they look like. Anyways, so we got the BMR suspension parts coming in, or going on the car soon. I've got some other suspension bits coming in for the car, just waiting for them to ship. Weld wheels should be here September 24th, and hopefully we're gonna start the transmission install this week. We've got everything, like I said, as you saw in the last video, and we'll start installing that Turbo 400, and we can start doing some freaking drives in the car. I miss driving the car. I've got a full drum of Ignite just waiting to be used. It's expensive, but I want to use it because I want to drive the car and I want to get racing the car. And as long as I have 15s, even if they're not the nicest set of 15s, they don't match, I'm taking the car to the track. I don't care. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. As always, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, VANV39. I'll see you guys on the next one. So I don't know how many of you remember, but when I first... Hey! What are you barking at, fool? I don't know if you guys remember, but when I first was doing the turbo kit, I was going to put one of these turbo guards on and actually ordered the wrong size. And then the people that own Turbo Guard actually went out of town for a few weeks. So I totally gave up on the whole idea of putting a screen on there.
But one of my friends, Matt, he actually posted that they had a bunch of these overstocked for 5.5 inch, and they're selling them pretty inexpensively. And so I actually picked one up. So I don't know if I'm gonna run, I probably won't run it at the track. Everyone's got their own opinion on these things. Some people say they still block airflow. However, this is like the bigger shape. There's ones that have like a little screen, and the screen ones have for sure shown that they block airflow. I don't know if these block airflow. I'll definitely run this like on the street. But the thing is, the only thing this is gonna knock out is like a big pebble or something large, like a leaf or something could still break and get into the turbo. But I think when you run these, it's more of just like a peace of mind type deal. But you gotta remember, if you guys don't know, my turbo is like right inside the fender well, like right where the body hits to go to the fender well. And there's just, first of all, it'd be really hard for something to get in there. But if something did get in there, the only thing I could put on there would be something like this. There's not enough room to put even a really small filter. So the only thing I could run is that. So I picked that up. I'll probably just run that on the street, but at the track, I'm for sure gonna take it off. I just don't want any restrictions on the turbo. Plus, where the turbo's placed, I don't wanna say there's no way stuff could get in, because then that's when something gets in there and ruins the turbo. But for sure, I'll run this guy on the street. But I wasn't gonna even buy one because I had the whole fiasco with it the first time, but he had some that were overstocked, so I picked it up, and actually it was black. Usually they have like the silver clamp around it, but this one's black, so that one should look good. So we're gonna put that on. Of course, as I was closing out the video, UPS shows up, and I was like, I wonder what I got today. It's like when you get older, it's like when you order parts, it's Christmas, but you have to buy the parts yourself. That part sucks. It's not like you get the parts for free. It's like you're buying yourself presents all the time. But they're not even for me, they're for my car. I don't know about that. What do you guys think about that? Now I'm gonna close the video out.